What's up, everyone? I'm Dennis, and this is Super Pirate Bros, and today I'm going to be talking about my King deck profile. I've been working on him for a couple weeks, and pretty much a few weeks before that on the simulator, but he's finally out now, and I'm a really big fan of his arts and what he does, and I finally managed to win a small tournament with him. It was a small locals, and I'm proud of what he's done. I had decent hard matchups. Some of the difficult ones were Purple Luffy, Bonnie, Katakuri and stuff like that. And you can by the way, you can defeat Rob Lucci as long as they don't see the Gecko Morias. So yeah, King is not completely hopeless for those that think he is. Let's just get right into the deck profile. For those of you who don't know what he does, because he's not that popular, maybe you don't know what he does, you just don -2 whenever you want to draw a card if you have 5 or less cards in the hand, or you can give an opponent's character -2 cost. Two very useful effects, and I'll show you why. Once you're at full dawn and you have your Onigashima Island out, you're basically free to do whatever you want. And when you play 10 drops and whatnot, decent effect. Always keep drawing. I love it. All right, let's talk about the first card here. 4 Onigashima Islands. This deck, honestly, it pretty much sucks without it. I noticed that I'll lose most games when I don't see it, so that's pretty unfortunate. But luckily, there's ways to search it, and we play 4 of it so that we maximize our chances of seeing it, because it is one of the most important cards in the whole deck. So yeah, it's got to be 4 Onigashima Islands. Up next would be Queen. Queen is our new searcher that came out in OP08. It lets you look at 5 for an Animal Kingdom Pirates card other than Queen itself. So yeah, I gotta play 4. It's almost like you're playing 8 copies of Island, because that's what you're trying to look for. Also, just a reminder, you want to go first with this deck at all times, because going first will let you play the Onigashima Islands on your next turn right away. After that, let's look at our 2Ks, Black Maria. Nice 2K in hand. Besides that, she has the effect to give you 5 free dawns. You only want to use this at a certain point. Like, let's say you don't get to the island. Sometimes she's usable, which is pretty cool. You get to use your leader's effect and still recover dawn enough and reach up to your opponent's dawn count. So only use her if your opponent has a decent amount of dawn. Otherwise, you're just wasting her. She's very situational. But besides that, still a great 2K to have. Up next, because we like to ramp dawns, it's going to be the Mr. 2. So this one just gives you the dawn active when you're playing. So this, after you get the island, lets you ramp up to 10 very fast. You get to be up to 9 dawn by turn 4 if you're going first, I believe, if my math adds up. So yeah, excellent card. And if it doesn't get KO'd immediately, she does work. Yeah, the Bon Clay does work because it copies your opponent's attack, and we all love that too. Up next, I'm playing this ulti. It's just a common with a 1,000 counter, 4 for 6,000 power. If we're playing her, I'm already playing the page 1, so we're only doing 3 of her. And I chose 3 of her and 3 of the old ulti. So old ulti has no effect in this deck because we are not playing the other page 1. She's just there as a 2K because she too can be revived with page 1. This page 1 lets you revive a 4 cost or less ulti from the trash. So that includes both of these ultis. So whichever one you find, now you have 6 chances to get something that you need. So he's a decent card to play because it puts 2 bodies that are very strong out for the next turn to possibly attack. Something you can always go for. I like this combo. It gives the deck a very good play for like the mid-game range. And another great card as a 2K has got to be Who's Who, another searchable Animal Kingdom guy. And you can trash a card to knock out a 3 cost or less, so it's not bad when you have to do that effect. If you're able to reduce your opponent's cost, this is one easy way to get rid of something when you need to. Besides that, it's a wonderful, wonderful 2K. Up next, I made room for just 2 of Eustace Captain Kids. This is the one that will re-ramp you a dawn when you go minus. So, for example, your leader's effect, or a Kaido effect later, or a 5-drop Queen effect. So pretty much, it's got its own uses. I didn't feel a need to put 4 of him in the deck. I didn't find the room for it, so I just went with 2 for now. You can adjust ratios as you wish, but this is the build that I use to win. And that's why I only have 3 queens. I know you're going to get pissed off. You're like, oh, what is he doing without 4 queens? Sometimes you just don't need the queens. So I literally took 1 out to play 1 of the 2K Sanji, because that comes up very often as well. Maybe I want to put the 4th back, but I figured it's okay. Maybe I'm crazy, but 3 is enough. You see it enough. It also cannot be searched by this queen, so I've been tired of seeing it because of that. So he'll just see those things, and then they all got to go to the bottom anyway. Up next, I also can switch out the Eustace Captain Kids for this if you want. Sabo, we all know is pretty good. Protects your board for a turn. and draw 2, discard 2. Pretty great blocker. I found room for just 2 of him, but like I said, if you want to play 4, I'd say play around with the Queen and use Captain Kidd range because they're all 5 drops, so they can all be played together or whatever. So I got 2 Sabos here. Up next, like I said, it's the 1-2K Sanji. This can easily be bumped up to 2 or 3 or 4 even if you just take out some of Use's Captain Kidd or Sabo or the ulti. This is another option if you want to put more of this in. I decided to play less of this, more of ulti for the page 1 combo specifically. So that's why there's just one lonely Sanji in this deck. Alright, here comes the fun stuff, our big drops. We're going to be looking at Jack. New from OP08. Very, very strong card. It gets to become 11 cost as soon as it's played, so it's a little hard to knock down if you're versing against black colored decks. Like Lucci, he's pretty sticky against Lucci. And you get to rest him to draw a card, trash a card, and knock out a 3 cost or less. Very easy to do in this deck because you have lots of ways to reduce cost in this deck. So let's get into that right away. Number 1 way is my 1 Isho in the deck. Why do we play Isho? Because of the black-yellow Luffy matchup. All they do is stack a lot of cards in their hand. And if you get to snipe out 1 or 2 Gecko Morias or some of their baby guys, you know, you're pretty much in a good spot because they're only going to win with Moria. So once you remove that Moria out, you kind of win the game. And also against other decks like NL, you get to knock out their big drops, then they don't gain their Dawn. So 1 Isho is a must. And then, of course, you hold the Dawn on him the next turn. Everyone's reduced. Things like Jack can do more work. Things like Who's Who can do some work. Things like this Kaido, Russian Kaido, can do more work as well. He obviously one of the oldest cards in the game. He gets to Dawn -5 to knock out a 6 cost and then rush. So I made room for 1 of him. I'm playing a big variety of boss cards, as you will see. You can mix match the ratios however you want, but I put 1 of everything. This Kaido here is also a new one. He has a really decent effect because he says that you trash an opponent's card. After you trash a card from your hand, that's 7 cost. So the trick with him is you play him. Since it's not an on-play effect, you can play him, do your leader's effect, -2 cost to an opponent. Then you can knock out a 9 cost guy for his effect. And then your opponent trashes a card right after you do, so it's really damn good. Love this Kaido. If you hate him, go for another Russian Kaido. If you don't need the Russian Kaido, go for another that Kaido. One that I wanted to more bump up of was this Charlotte Linlin, because it gives you a life. Since you're a 4-life leader that kind of struggles to survive sometimes, she does a lot of work for you. Tosses someone away for your opponent. And yeah, since you get a lot of bricks in your hand, like the extra islands sometimes, just discard it, use her effect, get a free life, and remove something that's pretty annoying. So yeah, you can get rid of Sabos, anything you want with her effect. And like, it removes a 6 cost or less, but if you have something else on the board, like Isho or your leader's effect, you know, you can just, it can be something higher than 6 cost. One of the best cards for that is my Kuzan. I'm playing Kuzans because they reduce all your opponent's stuff by 5. So if they ever survive for 1 turn, it makes whatever you do afterwards super free. Jack can knock out 8 cost guys. Lenlin can knock out everything. Kaido can knock out anything. The other Kaido can as well. Who's Who knocks out whatever you want. So very good card. And this deck ramps up very, very quickly. So this guy comes out much quicker than expected. So we love our 10-drop Kuzans. Up next, 1 10-drop board wipe Kaido. This is here for when your opponent wants to build wide and they forget that he exists. You just get a free win, and that's pretty fun when you do that. So yeah, why not remove your whole opponent's board? You play him situationally, especially when you see your board's kind of being diminished. This is the one that'll save you. So I love my 10-drop Kaido. Last card that I'm playing is 2 Ice Ages for the cost reduction. This with Jack alone does insane work. You get to just knock out 8 drops for free with this. And as well with Who's Who, in combination with Isho, everything is free. This with Kaido or Linlin, it's all free to knock out as well, because it makes any 10-drop 5 cost, and then they're all removable. So 2 Ice Ages is really good. Let me clean up this table for you up a bit so we can see the ratios a little better. Alright everyone, here's the full deck profile that I've got for you. And there's just a few things that I would change out. It's mostly ratios. There's nothing I would ever want to add in or take out completely. It's just ratios that you want to play around with in this deck. Everything in the deck I think pretty much belongs here. You'll notice the most thing different about my deck profile than anyone else's is that I love to have a variety with the boss cards. I literally have a 1 of all the way down here because all of these guys are all good for different situations. If you have, like, let's say only 4 Russian Kaidos, you have something for only the same exact situation every single time. Sometimes you do want a board wipe. Sometimes you do need an extra life. Sometimes you want to trash something like a Sabo that's unKOable. You know, there's always something for every situation. Like an ISO, sometimes he comes up. That's why I just like to do it this way. It's not more of inconsistency. It's more of something for every situation. You're gonna have it, you know. And yeah, since that's all we got left, I'm just gonna open up this winter pack that I got from the tournament I won. This is an old one, I know, but they didn't have any recent ones. Then they told me that they had to give me an old one. I had an option of taking a volume pack 6 or a volume pack 5, so I'm gonna go with the 6 one. And what the heck is that? Looks like a manga card. Oh god. This is nasty. Gross. And anyways, I also got some winter packs, and I opened up a Tashigi. Tashigi is pretty cool. I like the art in it, and I'm happy I pulled an SP. So, some stuff for that. Anyways, that's the end of the video. And remember, King is cool. Peace.